Hello, thank you for taking the time to view this demonstration of the ATS Ultimate Spreadsheet Importer tool. Some of the functionality of the tool includes allowing you to import and update records into iMIS from a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. It creates individual and/or company records, updates custom demographics including multi-instance demographics, creates activity records in iMIS. It's a desktop application that requires the iMIS business objects and the .NET 2.0 framework be installed. Finally, it works in both iMIS 10 and iMIS 15 databases. Some of the key features include extensive duplicate checking based on setup U control in iMIS. It validates data in a spreadsheet against iMIS lookup fields, has user-controlled column matching, lets you review matched and unmatched records and export them for review, selectively decide which unmatched records to import into iMIS, all or just a few, provides notes that indicate possible reasons for a match or non-match. Finally, it creates activity records for standard or custom activity types. The installation is a simple wizard installer. The few clicks of a next installs the importer tool. Next, you'll tell the importer your connection information, including a license key provided by ATS when you purchase the module. User security is controlled by access keywords. Within the access keyword general lookup validation table, you'll enter an entry called ATS importer. Once that's created, you'll add the ATS importer keyword to each user's credentials that you want to be able to use the importer. Only users with this keyword will be able to access it. Data access. The ATS importer general lookup table will also be set up so that you can control which activity types and which demographic tabs the importer can write to. For activity types, you're going to enter an entry into this table for each activity type with an underscore activity following it. For the custom tabs, you'll enter the tab name displayed in the customizer window in iMIS. We also have address validation. We'll create a lookup table called duplicate underscore address underscore strings, where you can enter in possible address abbreviations. Examples include Avenue and AVE, Boulevard, BLVD. One thing to keep in mind is you don't need to set up the reciprocals in this table, as the table can handle that itself. We also have company string identification abbreviations. Again, a new general lookup table called duplicate underscore company underscore strings will be created for shortcuts such as international and INTL in company names. Finally, we have a first name validation for checking for abbreviations for names. The table name will be duplicate underscore first underscore names for checking for first name abbreviations such as Ben, Benjamin, Bill, William, and Bob and Robert. Next, you'll prepare your spreadsheet. Note that the first row must contain your column names, and columns can contain individual, company, demographic, and activity data. The only required fields are, when adding the records to iMIS for individuals, are first name, last name, member type, and status, and for company records, it's company name, member type, and status. Using the importer is also very simple. First, you'll log into the importer tool using your iMIS login and password. Next, you'll select the file that you would like to import with a simple browser. Next, you're going to match the fields, so click the Match Fields button. You'll create a template for matching the fields in your columns in your spreadsheet to fields in iMIS. These templates can be saved for regularly reoccurring imports. For each type of update, company, individual, activity, and demographic, you can select which column matches the fields in your Excel spreadsheet. Using the drop down for each field allows you to select which column directly from your Excel spreadsheet. Only fields from demographic tabs added to the ATS importer general lookup table will be visible in the importer. A message will display on tabs where no setup has occurred. Available activity types include only those activities added to the ATS importer general lookup table. And again, a message will display on tabs where no setup has occurred. As you select each activity type, only the fields activated in iMIS for that activity will display. So in this example, for the CEU activity, only the applicable fields for that activity display, but when you switch to the dues activity, only dues-specific fields display it for the activities. If you will use this import matching again, you can save it for future use by just clicking the Save Template button. Next, once your matching is set up and selected, click the Read File button. Select an existing mapping template or create a new template to set up new mapping. Mapping is available for company and individual records. Each address purpose, including preferred mail, preferred bill, and in iMIS 15 preferred shipping addresses. Company and individual activities, company and individual demographics, and it can be saved for repeat imports of the same type of data. Here are a couple examples of field mapping. The column on the left is individual, where we've mapped member type, status, first name, middle name, last name, work phone, and email. And on the right we have a company address example showing the address fields including city, state, zip, and country. The importer validates mapping between the spreadsheet and iMIS. Next, you'll click the Match Names button for the importer to check for possible matches or non-matches. Review companies to add. Then you'll review company matches and upload selected companies. You can also export this data to a CSV file for review. Upload companies before people to create the company ID links. For people matches, you can review people to add, review possible people matches, and then upload the people file. You can also export this to a CSV for review as well. Finally, once the import is complete, you can review your records added to iMIS. So now I'm going to show you a demonstration of importing a file into the iMIS database. Here is my example of my Excel spreadsheet showing my column names across the top, the first row in my column, and then each of the name records that I want to import into iMIS. I will jump over to my importer and I'm going to select my import file by clicking Select Import File. I'm going to select the file I want, click Open, then I'll do Match Fields. Finally, I can now choose from an existing template, or I can create my own template for matching the fields between my spreadsheet and iMIS. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one so you can see what that looks like. Click on Create New Template. I'm only going to do individuals at this time, so I'm going to start with the individual button and I match the fields, and when you click the drop down, it browses to your spreadsheet so that you can choose what fields mapped where. First name, last name. Then I'm going to go to individual addresses. I can choose my first address, city, state, zip. I can identify that this is going to be the preferred mail, preferred bill, or preferred shipping address. I can go to a second address and do the same thing with a second address that I'm tracking in my spreadsheet. So again, I will go through my second set of address fields in my spreadsheet and map them here. Again, city, state, zip, and I will flag my preferred as well. So you can see it's very simple because it does just give you the drop down to select from. When you're done, you can continue to go through if you have any demographics or activities that you'd like to import. Finally, you can save your matches. I can click Save Template. I'll now read the file, validate the records, match the names. It will show me how many were matched, how many were unmatched, so it didn't find anything it considered to be a match in iMIS. I can review my companies to add, but remember in this spreadsheet we only did individuals. I'm going to click on Review People to add. It will show me the data of the records that it wants to add. I can do Check All. It will check all of my records. Click Upload Checked People. And then within just a few seconds, depending on the size of your file, your import is now completed. And if I come here and I do a lookup in iMIS, one of my records was Angelina Jolie. We'll see now that she's been added to iMIS with today's date and time. This concludes my short demonstration of the ATS importer. Should you have questions, please don't hesitate to call us at 720-945-7252. Thank you.